By the end of this show, everyone. This is going to be an awesome day, though. I'm excited about it. Yesterday was super fun. I really like this this group of four. So you guys ready to rock?
Let's rock.
Let's get to the league.
We are ready to rock. Yeah, sorry about the mirror. That's too bad. You had a worse night than the Lakers, Colleen.
Honestly, I don't know what else is going to happen. Veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins, there he is, remains a member of the Atlanta Falcons for now. But he has been linked to other teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot says the team continues to keep all options open.
We just have to be patient there, and we always were open with it, not just talking about Kirk, but with really anybody on our roster. You know, we have a lot of those calls with I've probably talked to already 6 or 7 GMs since the draft has ended, and they're talking about their roster. We're talking about our roster because after you get through the draft, that shifts some things in terms of needs and surplus and all that. And so we're always patient with those types of things because if something comes to us with Kirk or any other player that makes sense and it's going to help this team, then we're going to be aggressive and we're going to do it.
Okay, so they're going to be aggressive. They're going to do it. But, Ross, at this point, what do you think would be the best situation for Kirk Cousins? How does this whole situation play out?
Well, first, I want to start with what Fontenot said about them still getting calls about Kirk Cousins. I don't know if it's called a GIF or a GIF, but you know Will Ferrell in Anchorman where he says, "I don't believe you."
Yes.
That is what I'm saying to Terry Fontenot right now. I don't believe you. Okay? I don't believe you're getting calls anymore, Terry, about Kirk Cousins. The Browns have moved on. They were the most likely team. They drafted 2 guys. They have 5 quarterbacks now, okay? They're not going to pay money to get Kirk Cousins on their roster. The Steelers pretty clearly are getting Aaron Rodgers. Otherwise, they would have drafted a quarterback higher. There had been some talk about the Vikings maybe bringing Kirk Cousins back. They traded for Sam Howell. They love J.J. McCarthy. At this point, Kirk Cousins got no place else to go. He's like Richard Gere in whatever that movie is. I didn't really watch.
Which one?
But is it Full Metal Jacket? What's it called? Richard Gere. He goes, I got no place else to go.
I don't even know that reference.
Oh, no, it's like it's a military movie.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, we're 2 minutes into the show. I've already referenced Anchorman and Officer and a Gentleman. And Kyle's the movie guy, just so you know. So the point is, okay, I think he's going to be in Atlanta. I don't think he's got any other options at this point. I'm supposed to say what the best situation is for Kirk. I guess J.J. McCarthy gets hurt and the Vikings bring him back, or maybe Rodgers decides to retire and he can go to Pittsburgh. But I don't really see one for him right now. I think the best situation for Kirk Cousins is to make $27.5 million as a backup. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So which is more likely, that Fontenot is getting all these calls or that Richard Gere was in Full Metal Jacket? I think both very handsome soldier in the barracks there in basic training. All right, I kind of come out the same way, though, because I'm like, names. Who's like, we are interested in Kirk Cousins? Ross is doing the thing where you're like, there's 32 teams now. Like, almost none of them are single. They're not out there looking. Maybe the Steelers is the only thing that really makes any sense. You just start knocking things off. The Browns have the weirdest quarterback room ever, including 2 rookies. I'm not even sure one of which they even wanted to draft. They're not bringing Kirk Cousins there. Someone said, like, the Saints. The Falcons are not trading Kirk Cousins to their division rival. They're out. The Steelers, I don't know. But my take on Kirk Cousins is, even if the Steelers were interested in him as some sort of plan C after Rodgers, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going anywhere. I think at this point, he's like, I'm staying in Atlanta. Remember, lifestyle choices here. A much older guy in the league, an incredibly wealthy guy in the league, a guy with a lovely wife and 2 children, a wife who is from the Atlanta area. You got to get into this stuff. The kids who just moved from Minnesota a year ago, new friends, new schools. It's T-ball season for his little boys. And I just, I think of someone in his position, Kirk Cousins, and it's funny you mentioned Anchorman. I got to have a conversation once with Paul Rudd, who's been on the show a million times. And I was talking to Paul Rudd, who's in Anchorman, and I was just like, hey, man, why aren't you on any social media? You're not on Twitter, you're not on anything. He's like, at this point in my career, it's just so much work. Just tell me where to stand. That's all I want to do. And I totally get that. I feel like Kirk Cousins is a little bit, just tell me where to stand. I know he wants to go and win a Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. Come on. He's in Atlanta. He made a huge move there. He's under contract. There's a fair chance he will get in and play even if Penix is the week 1 starter, which he will be. He could get injured. He could get all this stuff. I think it's something to talk about, and it's a famous quarterback who we've talked about for 15 years going to Pittsburgh, and it's sexy as hell. Manti, unless you feel differently, I think we're going to see a lot of shots in Kirk Cousins wearing a baseball cap and doing a lot of clapping on the sideline this year. Very enthusiastic guy, but I don't think he's going to leave. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we have, I think we have a picture of Ross Tucker listening to Terry Fontenot right now. So, listen, I get it.
Oh, there it is.
There he is.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Wow, we have that stuff.
Yeah.
That really escalated quickly, didn't it, Ross?
It did.
Jumped up a notch.
Unique New York.
It did jump up a notch, and you both hit it on the head, guys. If I look at Kirk Cousins and what's the best outcome for him, it's to stay in Atlanta. For so many different reasons. I wish, these are the facts. I know Kirk wants to be a starter. I want to be a starter. In this seat today on May 1st, 2025, I wish I was a starter. I wish I was still running out of that tunnel in the Superdome, getting ready to take on some opponent. I wish I was still in a huddle with 10 grown men looking at me and I have a green dot, and they're hoping that their commander and their general is going to get them aligned and that I'm going to put them in the best situation to go against the other team. I wish I could still do that.
We could do that with the crew in here. We could get a fog machine. You are a starter on the show.
Ross, you know what I'm talking about, Ross. It's just different when you go to another city and you beat that city's team and you jump back on that plane ride on the way home. It is the greatest plane ride ever. All of the memories that you're able to create as a football player, as a player in this league, there's nothing like it. I wish I could still have that. Matter of fact, not a lot of people know this, but after I was done playing football, I would have the same reoccurring nightmare that I was in the middle of the field and then I'll wake up. And why is that a nightmare? Because I know I'll never, ever be able to lace up them cleats again. Kirk Cousins, you have that opportunity. You can still go out there on that field and be in the middle of a huddle as a backup at times. You are still able to walk off that field. You know what my biggest wish was, Colleen?
What?
Is that I was still playing when my kids were alive. Like my kids, I was done playing by the time my kids came into this world. I wish that I could run off the field after a game, look up at a suite and see my 2 kids with my wife up there cheering for me. I wish I could do that. You get to do that, Kirk. I just think the best situation is for you to do it in Atlanta, but it's going to be as a backup, and I think that's the best outcome for him.
So this dream that you would have, were you alone on the field? Like what do you mean?
So
let's take us into it.
The reason why it was a nightmare was for some reason in this dream, I would get on the bus or I would make my way towards the stadium, but I would never be able to get on the field. And for whatever happened, I just could never get on the field. And that was why it became a nightmare, was when I would wake up, I would realize my time was over. And that's something that's the realization that we all of us who play the game, we have to come to grips with, is eventually the game will move on from us. And when it does, you just got to be ready for when it does. But, according by the question, Kirk Cousins, you're still in the league, man. You still get to create those memories with your teammates.
Cousins beat the Eagles last year, guys. He can still play. He's not on the bus and the dream. Like, he may be starting this year somewhere. He's still got game. Like, Colleen, you tell me. Like, maybe we're all wrong about this thing, and maybe he's starting for Pittsburgh in this fall. I have no idea, but we're waiting on the Rodgers thing, right?
Well, that's the thing. And how long are the Steelers going to wait at this point? We heard from Ian Rappaport earlier this week that the Steelers could be in play. Obviously, we know that they could sign Cousins if Aaron Rodgers does not go there. Cousins, of course, has that no-trade clause, too. And the Falcons, it doesn't really incentivize them at all to move Cousins, because they don't really, at this point, the financial situation would stay the exact same for them. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like they're going to all of a sudden have extra money. So how long at this point should the Steelers keep waiting on Rodgers to make up his mind, Ross?
They shouldn't be waiting at all anymore. They should have moved on yesterday, or actually before the draft. All right, Kyle was too afraid to take any econ classes.
Correct.
Okay,
I took one and then dropped it.
Okay, I took several econ classes. Let's talk cost-benefit analysis, right? Every team with every decision is making a cost-benefit analysis.
Okay.
For Aaron Rodgers, what is the potential benefit, okay? What's the best-case scenario with Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers? Maybe win a playoff game. I doubt it, by the way, but maybe win a playoff game. they're not beating the Bills or the Chiefs or the Ravens with guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, as well as Lamar Jackson. So the Steelers are waiting on a guy who, if everything goes perfectly, they might win a single playoff game. Meanwhile, what's the negative? They're still a year further away from finally figuring out their long-term answer at the position post-Big Ben. Then you have all the weird interviews and everything that goes along with Aaron Rodgers, which is what he's doing right now, right? Like, there's always something with Rodgers. These are the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And they're still waiting for this guy to decide if he wants to play. By the way, if a guy's waiting this long to decide whether or not they want to play, they don't really want to play. I mean, Manti's over here. He's been retired for years. He's having nightmares because he wishes he could play so bad. I would pay a lot of money to play one more game, high school, so I can really mess some dudes up. Not NFL, but like, I'd play a lot of money for one more game. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't really want to play. I think he wants to stay relevant, so I think he will play for the Steelers. But this doesn't make any sense either short-term or long-term for Pittsburgh in my mind.
Well, I think it's interesting something you hit on here about this is the Steelers. I've been saying a bunch of times this week, but also the last couple of weeks, you can't go into the season and say, like, Mason Rudolph is our quarterback. We've been around the block with Mason Rudolph. We know him. We wrote the book on Mason Rudolph if you're the Steelers. You got to do this, this, and this. I've heard from multiple Steelers fans online, saying, screw it, I'd rather go to war with Rudolph. He's one of us. He's a Steeler. Let's take our chances. Let's play some defense than waiting around for this guy. That's the difference with Rodgers right now. If you go back 2 years and he's joining the Jets as a savior and a messiah, like that guy and that organization, they don't really do messiahs. That's why, like, you know, the Steelers fans, they have a trust fund. They were born wealthy. They never have to worry about anything. They're rich. They're spoiled. The Jets fans are standing around a barrel fire in fingerless gloves trying to stay warm. That they were like, we would lie down in traffic to have Aaron Rodgers even glance at them. The Steelers are like, yeah, I mean, we went through this last year. Didn't the Steelers just bring in a supposed all-time great to come into their team and take them to the promised land? It was like Russell Wilson, one and done, see you later. It's like it never even happened. There will be a completely different reception if and when Rodgers even chooses the Steelers. This is not the Jets. The Steelers they're spoiled brats. They're not interested in you until you can start winning playoff games for them. So it comes back to this. Rodgers is really the only option out there if you want some sort of bolt of lightning at quarterback. Otherwise, the draft didn't do it for you. Free agency didn't do it for you unless you're going to actually say, guys, 2025, Mason Rudolph, and we think we can finally break this streak of where we don't win playoff games. It's a very strange time for a team that usually has all their bleep together, and it feels like we're walking in a dark hallway.
Yeah, their hands are tied right now. The fact that they didn't go the lengths that we thought they were going to go in the draft and the offseason, it basically they exposed their hand. They exposed their hand early in this game. And if you're going to wait on Aaron Rodgers, you got to wait as long as it's going to take at this point if you're a Steelers fan. KB, you talked about Mason Rudolph. They know what they're going to get when they go into war. We've been to war with Mason Rudolph. Yeah, you went to war, and guess what? You guys got smacked up the head, literally, by the Cleveland Browns and everybody else in that division. So we're in this situation where you know what you're going to get from the guys. You kind of know what you're going to. The only guy that you don't know what you're going to get is Will Howard. So you're kind of figuring out what do we get? What was it, Ross, that you said cost-benefit analysis? Or what was that term?
Yes, cost-benefit analysis.
I didn't take econ, obviously, in college, so I wouldn't know what that was. But the facts are the cost-benefit analysis. You have the best chances with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. And that's it. So you got to wait. If you're the Steelers, you got to wait as long as it's going to take.
Oh, that's tough. The Steelers are just sitting there waiting for Aaron Rodgers to text them back. And Aaron Rodgers is just out here like surveying his options. What can he do at this point? I don't like the situation that the Steelers are in. That's never good when you're just like looking at your phone every 5 minutes. What's going on? Are they interested? Like, no. I feel like maybe everyone needs to move on at this point, but Aaron Rodgers has all of the power and all of the leverage. So we will all just sit here and wait for him to text us back.
Food for thought presented by the Farmer's Dog. And this is my longtime friend and former college teammate, Ross Tucker. In 2001, you made me put down the PlayStation controller and walk down to the basketball court at Princeton University to videotape you doing pass drop sets because you wanted to go to the NFL. And I was like, all right, I will, I guess. About 5 minutes later, you are playing for Marty Schottenheimer. You made the team as an undrafted rookie.
Yeah.
You were with Washington 24 years ago when things aren't like they are now. Now we have new owner, new everything, new quarterback, this sensational season we just saw. As a guy who was there 24 years ago, what are your thoughts right now on the state of the Commanders and everything they got going?
Well, I got to tell you, dude, it is the biggest erosion of a fan base that I can ever remember in any pro sport. So 2001, as Kyle mentioned, I'm a rookie in Washington. That football team, there was a huge season ticket waiting list. FedEx Field was only like 3 or 4 years old. They had just won a playoff game a couple years earlier with Brad Johnson and Stephen Davis and Stephen Alexander and Michael Westbrook. So I'm on the team with a lot of those guys. It was a big deal, and it was really cool to be a member of the Washington football team. You fast forward to like 5 years ago, I would call games for Westwood One or whatever. I'm there. The stadium was like half full, okay? And half the people that were there were for the other team. So it's a half full stadium, and half those people were Giants fans or Bears fans or whatever. My sister and her family, they live in Potomac, Maryland. They never talked about Washington football. They didn't care at all. I have never seen a bigger erosion of a fan base in my life, any team, any sport. Now, they get a new owner. They get a franchise quarterback. Now they're getting a new stadium. Now my nephew's posting about Jaden Daniels. Now they're fired up about it. I am so happy for all of you Washington football fans. You have waited essentially 25 years for this. 25 years to be able to get excited about the direction of your franchise. That is the only sport they care the most about in Washington. They talk about politics and they talk about the Washington football team. I am thrilled that they actually have something positive to talk about. And all those people that haven't gone to a game in 15 years, they're all coming back, and they should, because Washington football finally is back.
It fires me up to hear it. It reminds me a little bit about what Detroit's had going on, but in a way, Washington is its own brand of exciting because the quarterback is theirs and they drafted him. It wasn't a trade, and he's only 1 year in. And you look at Washington and you look at some team like Cleveland or something, that they so badly want what they have. And these great fans were like, you got to hit on the quarterback. Like, that's why it happened. I love Dan Quinn and I love the ownership. You have to hit on the quarterback, and Jaden Daniels was a home run. You also played for the Patriots. You played with Tom Brady. This is early, mid-2000s. You were right there. They just released long snapper Joe Cardona, which is a huge deal because Joe Cardona is their long snapper. He went to Navy. He is the last New England Patriot that's from the Super Bowl era when they were getting to and winning Super Bowls. So Mike Vrabel has a full, clean house now. What do you make of the state of the nation of New England?
Well, I think I like what Vrabel's doing in the sense that he wants to be able to get in front of that meeting room, right? And say, raise your hand if you've ever won a Super Bowl. Nobody raises their hand. Raise your hand if you've ever won a playoff game. Nobody raises their hand. I think Vrabel wanted a clean slate and a break from the Belichick Super Bowl era. Now, do I think you systematically get rid of David Andrews at center, Jonathan Jones at corner, Dietrich Wise at D-line? Do I think they did it on purpose? Absolutely. Do I think that that's the right way to go about it? I don't love the mindset of necessarily trying to get rid of every guy, even if maybe it made more sense for David Andrews to still be there. But I get it. It's like any other industry, especially football. They want to go with their own guys. They don't want any tentacles to the past, to Belichick, to Tom Brady, to Super Bowls. That's over. Tom Brady's not coming through that door. Bill Belichick's not coming through that door unless Jordan Hudson tells him he can go through the door. And so that is why Vrabel wanted a totally clean slate.
That's the Rick Pitino take from the same town in Boston. When Larry Bird's not coming through that door, Robert Parrish not coming through that door. It's a really exciting time for New England. I feel like they're going to be one of these teams that in the fall, like, they're going to be a trendy playoff team pick. Like, people like the quarterback, people like the coach. You know what I mean?
Well, so what's crazy about that is right now they are predicted by the people that do that.
Oh, what do they got?
8.5 wins.
Okay, that's good.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think the Patriots will be better, but 8.5 wins, I mean, that's a big step up.
Yeah, and people will probably say the Bills will step back, as they always do. But let's get to, it's kind of an eye roller, I think, in 2025 when you hear someone likes food, because it's someone with some obnoxious Instagram account, and they'll tell you, I'm a foodie, and the poached figs with the balsamic reduction, bull crap, all that. You like just like sandwiches, you know what I mean? Like the old way we used to talk about food. As a guy who was once in the same dorm room with this dude, 6'11" Kyler Hall at Princeton, it'd be like if Ross had like chips and you took some of his chips, like he would punch you. Like,
I don't like that.
Like hard, really hard.
You have to at least ask.
Yeah, but if you were like, you were at class and you came back and like, who ate my chips? Like it was like there was going to be blood. So I bring that to you. You now kind of do this. Professionally, I would say. You go and you do all of your food reviews, all of your analysis in the broadcasting booth, but everywhere. You've been to a lot of stadiums, college, pro, whatever. Best stadium food you have ever eaten.
By the way.
What? So, what are you about to say?
So we've referenced Princeton a couple times because we both went there, okay? Yeah. Imagine my parents' disappointment when people they meet say to them, oh, Ross Tucker, yeah. He's the press box food video guy. Oh, yeah, he's the press box food video guy. Like, they sent me to the #1 school in the country to be the press box food video guy, but I am the press box food video guy.
First of all, dude, my parents have been numb since I was on The Real World. That was 20 years ago. So you're lucky to be the press box food guy. It could have been way worse than that. And you are, so what do you take away?
All right, so it's #Tuck Spreads, at Ross Tucker NFL.
Okay.
I could have gone with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they have Bananas Foster at halftime. I think I set the record in the playoff game against the Rams a couple years ago. I had 7 Bananas Fosters at halftime. The Cowboys are incredible on Thanksgiving, but my #1 ranked tuck spreads, it's the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, really? What do you got?
Picture this. It's a noon game, okay? So you get there like 8:45. They've got not one, they've got 2 omelet guys, okay? So they got 2 omelet guys up there. I go ahead, I crush an omelet. I go down the field. I talk to some of the guys in the field. I come back. They have the best salad bar in the NFL because I'm crazy healthy like that. Then they always have pulled pork and mac and cheese, okay? They call it pack and cheese. Very clever, whatever. Yeah. So I'm at the stage of my life that mac and cheese, like I'm not a toddler, okay? Mac and cheese is a condiment or like a topping. I don't eat like mac and cheese on its own.
Yeah.
So I get a big bed of pulled pork, and then I put the mac and cheese on top. Yeah, like a topping, right? Because every bite has to have an equal amount of mac and cheese and pork.
Understood.
All right, so that's the pregame. Then halftime. It's only like 12 minutes. Not many mere mortals can have 2 brats in 12 minutes and go to the bathroom and get back and still be able to function in the second half.
And prepare for your second half statistics and your analysis and do your work that you're being paid to do.
But I can. And they have a bunch of different types of spicy mustard, which, as we all know, is the best mustard in the world. Mustard. So Green Bay Packers, because you start with the omelet, you get the pack and cheese, you put some salad in there so you feel better about yourself that night, and then at halftime, 2 brats. My number one ranked press box food in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers.
Incredibly well done. We have Commanders takes, Los Angeles. We have Patriots takes. We have Green Bay Packers food. And believe me, less than 24 hours ago after the show yesterday, Ross and I went to brunch, and he ordered an omelet. You should hear this. The guy goes, all right, this is Ross. He's like, I want double ham. The guy goes, okay. He goes, no, ham and then ham again. Double ham. He's like, I got it, dude. This is my job
like
here
that?
to do it. Like, ham and then ham again. I'm like, God, he's got it. He was very aggressive.
Well, wait, they said you're allowed to put 3 things in.
Yes.
So I wanted cheese and I wanted double ham. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just one. He said 3 things.
Did you get the double ham?
Yes, I wanted 2 of the 3 things to be ham.
He could have been triple ham. What do you guys think in LA?
Okay, first of all, do you guys remember Gap Girls, the skit on SNL? With Chris Farley. Welcome to the Gap. Can I tell you some crap?
Yeah, and Adam Sandler, David Spade. Yeah.
Yes. Ross Tucker is essentially Chris Farley in that skit when he's like, lay off me, I'm starving. When he tries to have like one fry.
These are good.
These are so good.
Aren't you supposed to be on a diet or something? Lay off me, I'm starving. Oh, that's a great call.
Yes. But I did want to ask, considering you are talking about omelets, Where do the Eagles fall in press box food rankings? Because they had an omelet station that was fire when I was working there.
That is a good question, Colleen. They no longer have the omelet station.
This doesn't look so hot.
Say
This
it ain't
is
so.
the Eagles now. I would say they're still above average. The key to the Eagles, okay, is the vaunted side snack table.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure it's in this video. Those are the desserts.
Yeah.
But the vaunted side snack table, you know why that's clutch? They always have Philly pretzels, Colleen.
Oh.
And so here's what I do, okay? I'll take a paper plate, all right? I'll put 2 Philly pretzels on it, and then in the holes of the Philly pretzels,
Mustard.
Mac and cheese.
that's where I put in the spicy mustard, okay? Then I put another paper plate on it.
Yeah.
The game is over, okay? I run out to my car to try to beat traffic. I am now in my car. I'm in a little bit of traffic driving home.
To-go.
Yeah, it's a to-go. I take the pretzel. I'm dipping it in the spicy mustard. I don't need dessert. I'm from Philly. I'll eat a Philly pretzel for dessert on my way home. It is the best to-go snack in the NFL.
But are they sourcing these
Football.
pretzels from a man on a corner with a shopping cart and a bunch of random pretzels in a paper bag that you pay cash for?
I don't know. I think they might be Wawa. Shout out Wawa. I don't know. They might be Wawa.
All right,
I'm not
we'll
sure.
allow it then. Wow, we have more food takes to talk about. Have you ever had a Philly pretzel?
Never had a Philly pretzel.
We're gonna have to change that.
He probably
All right.
doesn't eat carbs or any bread.
Rice.
God,
He eats
I hate
rice.
Rice, a lot of it.
Yeah. Listen, we love rice. Okay, anyway, let's get going out of here. Which is, Kyle, you've made us wait an entire hour at this point for the tease that you gave us. And also, by the way, speaking of appearances, I just noticed your watch and I love it. It's so fun. It's neon colored. Can you
Thanks.
show everyone real quick?
It's a Swatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Swatch watch. It's great. It's $60 or something like that. I love it. Get compliments all the time. So all you guys out there with your Patek Philippes and Rolex, whatever the hell they're called, all the time I get stopped on the street to look at this piece of junk from the 80s.
A+.
But more importantly, last evening, it's about 7:30 in the Brandt house. Difficult time, post-dinner, pre-bedtime for the kids. I'm trying to prepare for the show, of course. Don't bring it up yet. I get a text from a friend, like a friend of mine in town. I don't text with this person a ton, but this person felt so strongly about what he needed to communicate in this text. He's like, I need to text Kyle this. And before we bring it up, Manti Te'o, I want you to read the text from my friend Peter. It's not Peter Schrager, by the way. It's a different Peter. Bring up the text, and I want Manti Te'o to read it on live television. Go.
Oh, no.
I was just laughing and watching the show from this morning, how small Teo's arms makes yours look. LOL. And that, 6 to 7 years since he stopped playing.
But his arms just kept growing.
I love it.
I need that on a Wednesday night. Again, I'm not in constant communication with this person. It's just a friend. And he's like, I have to. Where's Kyle's number? His arms look so small next to Teo's. I need to make sure he knows that. It's an unbelievable text to get. What's your response to it?
Well, so first of all, I don't know who this Peter is.
He's a great guy. I love Peter.
Yeah, but the grammar was terrible. It didn't even make sense how small Teo's arms makes yours look like.
You're right.
I had to read it 3 times to even understand.
There it is.
But what? How small Te'o arms make yours look.
Yeah.
Exclamation point, then an LOL. Who still does the LOL?
Let's see.
And
Come
then
on, KB.
dot?
Yeah.
Show him. Show
Come
Peter,
on.
KB.
I'm not showing squat. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to get 50 more texts. Manti, you're great. I love it. You look incredible. I don't know if we necessarily need to objectify people on television. I don't do that. I just see people. I don't see body parts and all that nonsense. And so, Peter, I love that you're watching. Go Cowboys. And I'm now motivated. I'm going to be on the preacher card later today. And maybe it's steroids. I'll take whatever it's going to take for me to catch, even in the same world as Manti.
Creatine.
Can you believe that?
I was just going to say, he's on Amazon getting creatine right now. Wow. Peter,
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more than that.
All right, let's get to the lead
Thanks for
block.
watching.
Let's go.
Lead block.
All right, we're going to do a little Throwdown Thursday, everybody. Let's start with our first one here. We have 2 former Steelers quarterbacks, now both in New York City. Kyle, which new New York quarterback has more to prove? The Jets, Justin Fields, or the Giants, Russell Wilson? And who has bigger biceps?
Great question. Yeah, well, probably Fields. I don't know. That's close. We could do that different segment. I feel so much different about this conversation before the draft because there was murmurs that maybe this is Russ's job and it's his thing. It's like, well, now there's this first-round rookie in the room. So the answer to the question was more to prove. I think it's Fields. I feel like last year was Russell Wilson's year to prove. It's in the wake of the Denver disaster. He came in. He did have a really good run before it fell apart. And now I feel like we're kind of maybe at peace a little bit with Russell Wilson about what he is and what he isn't. We still don't know with Justin Fields what he is and what he isn't. Honestly, the whole Chicago thing and Pittsburgh also, like, I still think it's Fields. He's much younger. He's played far less football, and I still think he is more of an untapped deal. But this is it. If the Jets thing doesn't work it out, this is really you're going to be your final shot as a starter, I think. So my answer is Fields.
Totally agree. It's got to be Fields, right? I mean, Russell Wilson, this guy is a Super Bowl champ. What has he made, like $200 million at this point? He's made an absolute ton of money.
That's true.
He's on the downside. We all get that. But Russell Wilson at least has some pelts on the wall. He's been there, done that. Justin Fields is 0 for 2, okay? Chicago and Pittsburgh, in proving he's even an average starting quarterback in the NFL. He has a chance to be 0 for 3. Not many people get 3 chances to show that they can't be a starting quarterback in the NFL on a consistent basis. It's easily Fields. And think about this for a second, if you're a Jets fan. There is a distinct possibility that there will be 4 starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yes.
Former Jets quarterbacks starting for other teams
List them.
that are better than the Jets quarterback. Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, which is going to happen. Geno Smith with the Raiders. Sam Darnold with the Seahawks. And Joe Flacco maybe in Cleveland. So there's a chance, week 2, that Jets fans watch Fields have a bad game. Then they turn on the RedZone, and there's 4 other Jets quarterbacks all playing better than their guy. That should be impossible. But that might be the situation.
And I got to tell you, there's one bad injury I hope doesn't happen in Miami from keeping Zach Wilson on the field, too. You know, I'm like, there's all kinds of stuff.
It could be 5.
It could be 5. Manti, get in here.
KB, you're going to be proud of me. We don't like going 3 for 3 in this segment. We don't like going 3 for 3 in other segments. So I'm going to zig when everybody goes zag.
Yes.
There's something, guys. This is what I love about our show. A lot of people, everybody else comes to the show to learn about football. I come to the show to learn some grammar. And I got 2 of my Princeton brothers over there in New York.
Okay.
Ross is talking about cost-benefit analysis. I did some grammar research, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is how it relates to Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. When I look back at the 2024 season for the both of them, Russell Wilson's 24 season ended in, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if I pronounce this wrong, an ellipsis. What is an ellipsis? It's 3 periods. And I looked up the definition of it, and it says, can be used to depict uncertainty. After the 2024 season, there's a lot of uncertainty as to what Russell Wilson's future looks like compared to Justin Fields, which his season ended in an M dash. Now, what's an M dash? An M dash are 3 hyphens, usually depicted to represent when the narrative is cut short. That is how I see Justin Fields' 2024 season compared to Russell Wilson's. Not to mention the Giants did draft a quarterback in the first round, whereas the Browns didn't draft a quarterback at all. So if there's anybody that needs to prove themselves, to me, it's got to be Russell Wilson. I think Justin Fields is in a great situation. And again, his 2024 season did end in an M dash, whereas Russell Wilson, it did.
Love an M dash. It's so underrated. Also, these 2 quarterbacks are 10 years apart. Justin Fields is 26 years old. Russell Wilson is 36 years old. Right now, he's playing for legacy, whereas Justin Fields, I mean, he's unproven at this point, like you were saying, Kyle, and we'll have to see where he takes this because it really is, at this point, he could go anywhere, has high potential. Let's go to our second one. Ready to AFC North teams that don't know who their quarterback is, what their situation is. Who are you more interested in, the Steelers or the Browns?
Oh, I was going to say the Giants. I like the Giants room by far. It's the Browns, right? Like the Browns. I'm trying not to be insensitive. That's one of the weirdest rooms ever. Like, so if you just, the rundown, you have, not only do you have 2 rookie quarterbacks, you have one of the most polarizing and reactive rookie quarterbacks in NFL history. Then you've got just like the everyman who's Kenny Pickett, who has a lot of starting experience and has a Super Bowl ring and all that. That's your room, right? No. Then you have a 41-year-old Joe Flacco on his 8th team in 8 years, who is in his own way like this Rooster Cogburn legend who's like, one last job, I'm here. I have no idea what that room is. I don't know what the depth chart is. I don't know who the reps are. Ross, I'm going to ask you something else. Is Shedeur Sanders definitely going to make this team? He's the 4th quarterback, right?
He's going to make the team.
Why?
Because
he's a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, because they want to see what they have in him.
So see in training camp. They got 3 other quarterbacks. It's definitely going to, like, there's a chance he could not make the team.
They're going to end up trading Flacco or Pickett.
Which one? Pickett, probably, right? Why would they bring in Flacco and then trade him? Like,
yeah, probably Pickett.
Interesting.
But they might wait till some team has an injury and needs a quality backup. They'll trade one of those guys.
Also, Pickett might be much better than Shedeur.
But I don't understand. If you're the Browns, why would you even play Pickett or Flacco this year? Like, the Browns aren't going to the playoffs, right? I think
They might. Who knows? They went with Flacco last time.
Yeah, no, they're not. So I think they should play Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders and see if either one of those guys can be the starting quarterback moving forward. Because if they're not, the Browns have those 2 first-round picks next year to draft Arch Manning or Nussmeier or Drew Aller or whoever they want next year. To me, this year should be about what do you have in Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I think it's unlikely that they would make the playoffs. And by the way, just based on like the Travis Hunter trade, the Browns are building for 2026. They're making moves with 2026 in mind.
What do you think, Manti?
Well, I have a little argument with Ross about the whole Joe Flacco thing, because Joe Flacco, after week 13, Joe Flacco joined the Browns, and he went 4-1 as their quarterback. So he's very familiar with the Cleveland Browns, and they're really familiar with him. Now, Kenny Pickett, you think about the Browns or the Steelers. I think right now the Steelers quarterback room would prefer Kenny Pickett if Kenny Pickett was in there, based on what they have right now. Even though they did draft him, I just think he's better than the 3 that you have right now. You're in a better situation if Kenny Pickett is there rather than in Cleveland. And there's just more to talk about. You know, we could look at the 2 rookies with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in that battle. But I see where you're going with that, Ross. I do think it should come down to the 2 rookies. But Joe Flacco has proven himself for the Cleveland Browns 2 years ago when he did go 4-1 for them. So it's going to be something that I like to monitor. And I think we're all going to be kind of tuned into that whole thing too.
Well, you know what the answer isn't, okay? The answer isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am disinterested in the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation. Because of Rodgers? I am sick of it. I'm bored with it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want the guy. I can't wait until he actually says, Aaron Rodgers, he's playing for the Steelers, and then we all find out what he was waiting for. I guess he said that he's stuff in his family circle, whatever. But the question is, what's the more interesting quarterback situation? The Steelers isn't interesting at all. The Steelers is annoying, boring. Interesting is not a word I would use to describe the Steelers quarterback situation right now.
I mean, when was the last time that we weren't interested or captivated or talking about the Browns quarterback situation? I feel like it has been, when was the last time there was stability in the quarterback room at Cleveland? I don't even know. I guess Baker Mayfield for a second, but you would have to go back and years and years and years, what, Bernie Kosar? Like, I'm not even sure when the last time was. So 'twas ever thus, the Browns quarterback situation, and now the Steelers join them in that purgatory. All right, yesterday, we got Ross's attention by bringing up some breakfast sandwiches.
Will somebody tell this guy Ross at the Jersey Shore we eat pork roll, egg and cheese? Your response?
Pork roll is actually delicious, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, that's all they get is pork roll, egg, and cheese. It's a little too salty.
Oh, come
so
on.
I lean more towards the sausage, egg, and cheese.
Don't say this guy Ross, Tsunami John. I mean, Colleen, what do you think?
Come on, you can take the sodium. I didn't know you were such a delicate flower. Pork roll is amazing. What about scrapple? Scrapple's even better than pork roll. You got to get your breakfast sandwich.
Scrapple! Scrapple!
I feel left out.
Tomorrow, hey, we got to talk about Scrapple on tomorrow's show. I got a lot to say about Scrapple.
It's like Spam, but
Spam and eggs?
better.
What?
Yeah. Scrapple is God's meat.
That's what everybody says. That's Scrapple's tagline, God's meat. If you're not familiar, it is essentially like Scrapple. It's the scraps of a pig, and it's in a mush patty, and it's delightful and delicious, and Ross knows all about it. So what is the superior breakfast meat? Bacon or the field or Scrapple?
Who's up first here? Ross, you get to go first.
All right, I'm going first. It is easily the field.
Really?
Okay? Yeah, this is going to be controversial, and I hope this doesn't make anybody really upset with me. I think bacon's a little overrated.
What?
Talk about it.
Okay? Listen.
Crazy.
I love bacon, okay? I love bacon. But bacon has to be cooked perfectly. You know, I'm at a lot of hotels. I'm at a lot of breakfast buffets.
Yeah.
I destroy breakfast buffets, okay?
Sure.
Half the time, or third of the time, the bacon is so crispy and so hard that it like falls apart when you're trying to eat it. The other third of the time, it's undercooked and it's like fatty and chewy. Bacon needs to be cooked perfectly to be stellar the way we all like it. Meanwhile, the field, breakfast ham is highly underrated.
Interesting.
I love sausage and Scrapple. I talked about this yesterday. I was 258 at the end of my freshman football season. I went home for Christmas break. We got a keg of Yingling every night, went to the diner at 2 a.m.
Yes.
I got ham and cheese omelet, stack of pancakes, chocolate milkshake, side of Scrapple.
Perfect.
I went back to Princeton during Christmas break. 284.
Yeah, sure. I can vouch for
Okay?
that.
Put the Desmond Watson thing up. I gained 26 pounds during Christmas break. Our coaches were like, what did you do?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, had an amazing time. That's when they first got the idea to move me to offensive line.
From D-line.
I was at D end, and they said, listen, you'll start either way, but you could really be something on the offensive line. So any kids out there watching, okay, the key to making the NFL, okay? I can't say the keg of Yingling because you're not 21, but I guess I wasn't either. But okay, the key to making the NFL, okay, is a keg of Yingling and then going to the diner at 2 a.m. and having Scrapple. If you want to make the NFL, these are the things you have to be willing to do.
It's a great monologue. It's more like a sermon. And I was there for some of that, those Yingling kegs and those pancakes and stuff. It was incredible. For the sake of this conversation, I'm just going to go bacon. It's a 1 seed, all right? And I understand there is this huge spectrum how the bacon can be cooked and for the crispy and the undercooked. If you get it in that stupid serving tray at the buffet, they make 200 strips of bacon at a time, and some of them are disgusting. But nothing tastes worse with bacon in it. I'll just say, they're not making it like that. That's a cast iron skillet in your grandmother's house, 4 strips at a time. It doesn't look anything like that, all right? I will just say bacon for the sake that it makes everything better. It is an elevator. It is a glue guy. It is a star all in one. I'll just say that for the sake of the conversation because I have a feeling that Manti Te'o is going to zag.
Yes, I'm going to zag. Did you say Scrapple is what? That God's meat?
It's God's meat,
Scrapple's God's meat. Scrap that.
Say it with
Scrap
me,
the
everybody.
Scrapple because you know it's God's meat, guys. It's spam. Okay, spam is something that we grew up. You know, you have all the different cuts of steak. You got tenderloin. What? Spam is the freaking prime rib. Like, it's a creme de la creme of all breakfast meats. So I don't know what Scrapple. I've never had Scrapple. I've had bacon, and I agree with Ross on bacon. Like, you have to cook that thing perfectly. Some people they're baking it now. I was seeing a guy who boiled it. Get that out of there. Put the spam, slice it up, slice that thing up, put it in a skillet, flip that thing over after 3 minutes. You can eat that thing with anything. It'll be good.
You know what sucks, Manti, is that spam has branding issues in the sense that when I think of spam, I think of the annoying folder in my email that has Cialis offers, 50,000 of them a day. That's spam to me. You know, I don't want to eat that. It's unappetizing. What do you got to say?
All right, so I have a spam story. Okay?
No.
My grandfather was a captain in the U.S. Army.
Pop?
Yeah, Pop Bachman, okay? So what that meant is any food on your plate, you had to eat all of it, okay? That's how I grew up. It's a whole issue with my wife and I because I want to raise our kids that way. They're girls. My wife's like, no, you can't force them to eat stuff that's not healthy. Anyway, I'm like 8 years old. My grandma, my mom and papa, they give me a plate, eggs and Spam. I'm trying to eat the Spam. Manti, That stuff is gross. It is disgusting. It is disgusting, okay? And I can't eat it, all right? I can't eat it. And my pop-op is like, you're not getting out of there until you eat all that. And I'm like, I can't eat it. My mom is there, and she's looking at me, and I'm like about to cry. I'm 8 years old. And this was like the only showdown I remember between the generations. My grandma and grandpa, my papa, my mom, and my mom. And they were like, he's eating that.
Yes.
And she's like, they're not. I'll never forget. My mom's like, let's go. We're leaving.
Yes.
I got up from the table. We get in the car. She drives to Boscov's, okay? She goes to a payphone. She calls my Aunt Debbie. She's crying because she just got in a fight with her mom and dad. She gets back in the car and she says, why couldn't you just eat the Spam? Why couldn't you just eat it?
Ross, have you ever called a game in Hawaii? You ever gone to Hawaii?
Yes.
Really? I don't think you ever will again. You just declared war on Hawaii. He's coming after macadamia nuts next. He's coming after all that wonderful things there on the island. I'm telling you.
Ross, I think that we are related. I think we actually have the same exact family. I have an Aunt Debbie, too. My mom and pop-up. Like, I used to have 2 dinners every single night, and I would have to finish both of them because I would have my mom, what she cooked, and then my friend Talia's mom would make me dinner, too. However, my pop-up would have with me and my dad for breakfast the actual answer to this question. The best breakfast meat is chipped beef on toast. I don't know if you guys have had that, but it is delightful. You don't know cream chipped beef on toast? Oh my God. Go out to the bar, Thanksgiving Eve, you come home at 2 a.m., my dad and I are making cream chip beef. It's awesome. It's like salted, dried beef in like these compressed packets, and then you make the, it's like flour and butter and all sorts of goodness.
It's delicious.
Like
it's debatable if it's a breakfast meat, but it's delicious.
But it is a meat.
Well,
it's beef.
Colleen, social media has thoughts in real time about the segments. Bring it up. What do we got? I am watching the show from London, England. How can the nation that eats grits moan about crispy bacon? That's true. John Milner, Mr. One Lung from London. I like it.
Grits are incredible.
What a weird thing. Are you a smoker or something, John? That sounds morbid, bro. One lung. Oh, my God.
I have questions.
Yeah, I did too. What a handle. How was that not taken?
I am starving at this point. I'm going to need, maybe we do a taste test at some point. But you know what we will do next? It's May Day, guys. So Manti is going to help us celebrate. He's going to tell us.
It's time we bring others into our culture, and I couldn't think of a better time to do it than today. You see, today is May 1st, and every year on this day in Hawaii, we celebrate May Day, or sometimes referred to as Lei Day. It is a day where we celebrate culture, family, and the Aloha spirit. And in a world that often tries to highlight what makes us different, we, as Polynesian people, want to celebrate what makes us the same. So in the spirit of May Day, we have 5 leis that we want to give to 5 men that have exemplified the love of culture and the impact that they have had on their teammates and everyone around them. Maxwell Hairston was drafted 30th overall to the Buffalo Bills. But you could have thought that he was drafted earlier by the way he celebrated the previous 29 picks. The DB for Kentucky showed that Aloha spirit in everything that he did. The Polynesian culture is about celebrating the achievements of those around you, even when the spotlight is on them and not you. Maxwell Hairston. Today, on May Day, we celebrate you. 2024 was a magical year for Saquon Barkley. Not only did he win his first Super Bowl in his first year with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he also came within 101 yards of breaking Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record. However, there were times when Saquon chose to put his team's goals over his own. Let's take a listen.
You're 13 yards away from your career high. I would love for you to get that, but that's up to you. I just don't want, I'm going to take out all the starters if they don't score.
You good? Let them eat.
You sure?
Yeah, good.
You sure?
I promise.
I'll listen to me. I want you to do it if you want to do it.
It's all good. I'd rather see the young boys eat.
Nothing epitomizes the Aloha spirit more than someone who is willing to sacrifice his own achievements to give those around him a chance to shine. Saquon, I know you got yourself a Super Bowl ring, but you can add a lei to your collection. In every family, there is a family member that the whole family points to as a reference to what it means to be a part of that family. George Kittle has been that reference for the San Francisco 49ers. In his 8 years as a 49er, George's impact can not only be seen, but heard and definitely felt. Let's take a look.
I love the Niners. This is really fun. Hey, it's my day. You have to wait for me. Oh, I love football.
Look at it. He just did that to our Sky.
You gonna go have fun now?
Yes. Hey, why are you following me around? Is it because I'm cute? I thought so. People probably think I'm a complete psycho. You don't, though, Dwelly. You understand me for what I am? You don't? Oh, okay. Hey, how you doing? Hey, everybody!
You see, when culture is seen, heard, and felt the way that George has done it, it becomes contagious and affects everyone around you. Yes, we know you love football, George, and football loves you. Talking about someone that can be seen, heard, and felt, Dan Campbell has been the epitome of what it means to be a leader of men. In just 4 years, he has turned a franchise that hadn't won a playoff game since 1991 into one of the best franchises in the NFL.
This is what it's all about. This is why you're in this profession, man. This is as good as it gets. I just want to play. When you have talented football players and they are made of the right kind of stuff, you have a collective willpower that you can make the game any way you want it to go. Atta boy, Dorsch, get his ass, Dorsch! Got him! Bam! They freaking came out and they fought us, but we fought harder. Division winners, back-to-back seasons, and the #1 seed.
I was with the New Orleans Saints from 2017 to 2019. Dan Campbell was a tight ends coach there during that time. My second year, however, I experienced what some would call the politics of the NFL. I was demoted to the scout team. But there were a few times when Dan Campbell would come up to me and tell me how much he believed in me. He didn't have to do that, but I am forever grateful that he did. Our last recipient of our GMFB May Day, Lay Day, goes to a coach that calls that stadium right over their home. Matter of fact, he won a Super Bowl there just 4 years ago. Let's take a trip back to that year and hear what makes Sean McVay such a special coach.
What else could you want? What else could you want? Right now! Let's go! Let's go! Hey, Aaron, this is the moment! Right now!
For the world championship right here. Aaron Donald's gonna make a play.
He's hit. He flings it away on 4th down.
Yeah! I knew it! I knew he would make a play! Hey! Hey, great job, man. Let's go. Look. Aaron, hey, come here. Hey, come here. Hey, I knew. We're world champs. We're world champs. Yes, sir. We're world champs. I knew you'd make that play. We're world champs. I knew you would make that play. Let's go.
A good leader is someone who makes you believe in them. A great leader is someone who makes you believe in yourself. That pretty much sums up Sean McVay.